Ta-da! We're live.
Hi, everybody.
So I'm wearing this shirt today. Today I feel. How do you feel, Aspen? Or how do you feel, Chibi?
Oh gosh. I can't even read the letters. I am tired. Today's mood is tired.
And you look like this. Like they all look like that. That's the weirdest thing I ever did on stream was pull my shirt up over my head. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
You can tell that we're still working through our first caffeine set today.
Yes. It is a day and it has barely started, right? Yeah. So again, hi guys. I am Jinx Cosplay. I've been cosplaying since 2001. I'm based here in Gilbert, Arizona. And I just woke up not long ago because we had a day yesterday, a fun day yesterday. It was an exhausting fun day, which we'll talk about. Because yeah. So and Chibi, go ahead.
Hi everybody. I'm Chibi Raincloud, Pacific Northwest cosplayer. I'm just exhausted. I'm excited. We're going to be talking about the Discord today and some of the fun challenges we've been doing on Discord, which I'm excited about because it's something I've been working on. But I am still just barely functional. So.
And it's only like January's over.
Right, and I'm cosplaying Punk Apple from Twisted Wonderland.
Yay! See,
because I got this hat, and I'm like, I have to do this cosplay now because it's the poison apple. It's so.
Oh, that's super cute.
Yeah,
where'd you get it?
Miniso. It's this really cute, like it's like a $5 Korean store. They have a bunch in Canada, and like that's where I used to go to my Miniso because they're like Daiso, but like for Korean stuff. And
Miniso, okay.
Yeah, and it's so cute. They actually they now have stores in California, and then our first Washington store is in Linwood. So
of course they have them in California. We still don't have
everything's in Cali.
Yeah, Arizona is like right next to California. We still don't have our Daiso. It was supposed to open, but I don't know where it is. If it's open, if someone knows, let me know. But we have these two stores that sell Daiso stuff, but they're not like a Daiso. But so it's good. It's close enough. But anyway, guys, today we are starting a new series, which we'll be doing the first of every month, depending on our schedule, called the Wrap Up and Monthly Cosplay Challenge. If you don't know what our monthly challenge is, I don't know where you've been. Definitely haven't been on the Discord, so get on the Discord. It's primarily on the Discord. I'm going to throw our Discord chat up here. I mean, our link. Oof, I'm like not even like ready to talk today, and I'm already talking. Join our Discord. It is for everybody, not just for cosplayers. You just have to love cosplay is what I always say. That's like my tagline. We actually have a channel called Cosplay Challenge, and Chibi's great. Chibi will come up with a prompt every month. Like it's literally just, a word or phrase, and it's up to you for interpretation. We get a lot of like, does this count? Does this count? And I kind of more want like it when you add the prompt, maybe add ask them to add a little like blurb of why, they think that this matches the prompt. Because
I'm totally up for people having fun and doing what they want with it. Like the whole reason why I usually only choose a word is because I want to see what people can come up with.
Yeah. I think it's nice too. And for people to be like, does this count? And I'm like, well, why do you think it counts? And we want to know, it's not a yes or no. It's like, what's your interpretation of it? So I'd love to see that because this January's prompt was
magic. We used just magic. That was it. Just magic.
And everybody's like, is this magic? Is this magic? I'm like, well, what do you think magic is? And I would love to see that for the next challenges. If you can add that in. Chibi, you think that's a good idea? Yeah, like along with
I can
like
throw
the
that
prompt.
in.
Yeah, say like here's the prompt, and then it's up to them. They don't have to, but you can add a few words on why you think this matches. There's no yes or no. We'll take it. Like it's interesting to see what everyone's interpretations are. Wow, we've already got a lot of people watching. Hey, Cool Gamer, you are watching us from YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sakura Elric from YouTube says good morning. Joe is watching us from Facebook. Hey, how's it going? Thermo slides into the YouTube chat to listen while playing video games. Good day, buddies. Thermo's taking a break today.
What game are you playing?
I know. Why are you not on? Please, can you please get on Don't Starve with me today? Anyone else that wants to play Don't Starve? I have a server. I want to play. Just don't be a
This morning I was playing Stardew Valley. I didn't need it. No, sorry, not Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley. Starlight Valley. This is going to screw me up because I'm a star. I play Stardew all the time, and then Disney came out with Starlight Valley, and now I'm like, why would you do this to us?
Is it like Stardew Valley?
Kind of. You grow crops and you go destroy evil and like you have fun. It's not that I needed another excuse to play Disney games, but
why would they make the name and the games accessible? Like, come on.
Because it's Disney and they can.
Because they can.
That pretty religiously. My best friend's like, you should play this game with me. It's still getting it's still in like the starter. They're playing around and catching bugs and stuff. So it's been kind of fun because you'll find weird glitches that you can just be like, hey guys, check this out.
Okay.
It's really fun. It's really cute. It's a very like chill game, which is my favorite genre. So
yeah, awesome. Osaka Elric says the Discord is super fun, really diverse. We've been growing it. Chibi is an amazing admin. And you know, you've brought some cool moderators on. Sakura Elric's one of them. The Discord is super fun, really diverse. Whether you make or buy or cosplays, just interested and appreciate the art, and there's a place for you. And you know, while we always say like it's the Cos Talk Live Discord, I mean, we're not just cosplayers, so you know, we're open to opening up more channels.
Yeah, we have like anime, manga, food, like we have chats for a little bit of everything. And
yeah, because cosplay comes from all of your fandoms. Like no one just cosplays and they're like, I don't really have any interest. Like you have to be interested in something to cosplay from it. So we appreciate that from our cosplayers. So definitely check it out. And again, like always, welcome to You Don't Need to Cosplay, or if you want to learn how to, you know, a lot of great help there.
We have lots of spaces for beginners and asking questions. In fact, I mean, I'll never call myself a pro cosplayer, but like I've been doing this for 10 years plus, and I still go in and be like, how do I do this thing? And it's very nice because you'll definitely get answers.
I mean, I only learned how to properly install an invisible zipper like 2-3 years ago. So don't, you know, it's like, yeah. Hopeless Night says, hi everyone from YouTube. Woohoo! Oh, and we have our special guest host.
Yes, Pepe here, my sweet bean.
Yeah,
she's my emotional support cat, and so I had a long week, and now she just won't leave me alone.
Oh, she feels you. She totally understands. Like she's really, really, yeah. Animals are great empaths. So, yeah. So, guys, I'm excited to do this one. These shows are going to be pretty chill. You know, mostly just hosts or you know, our host pool, and we're just going to go over these topics. For the monthly challenges, and you know, we will be sharing everybody's photos. If you want to get in on the next one, you can either, well, we would love for you to join the Discord. You know, you can post directly into the Discord channel, cosplay challenge, or you can @ us on Instagram. But definitely come and chat, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. So Chibi, I kind of want you to talk about how you go through and you know what your idea was initially with the cosplay challenges and how you kind of come up with prompts. I know I'm putting you on the spot now.
No, it's good. Actually, this is a little thing that started back when I was working for Original Glaze, which was a small app for cosplayers. I did a lot of like the kind of groundwork and working through the Discord, and I really was just trying to find a way to get more people to be invested or to come in and have fun. And so I was like, hey guys, why not do a challenge? Because on Instagram and like back in Facebook in the day, like the challenges and doing stuff like that were actually pretty common for cosplayers. We'd pick a prompt and then run with it, or like
it was like the fall for cosplay, right? I think we were like doing stuff on Instagram and we're like, let's share it to the Discord, or you were like, we can share it here.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I really just loved that idea because I used to do just like the random challenges because it was something that would be like, oh well, what do I post today? And then if I had this like, here's this list of challenges to do every day or every week, it would give you that, oh well, I'm going to share this costume today. So it was just a really fun idea that just was easy and it could get more people involved. And so I really liked it. And I didn't even know if it would be popular, or if people would enjoy it, or if it was something that people were interested in, but I just started pitching it. And it's been really fun. And like this month we had so many amazing cosplayers. Like I usually do like a collage and post it on our Instagram, but we have so many this month that we've decided that instead of doing a collage to post, we're actually sharing it to our stories. And
I'll try and make a collage. like as a
Okay.
post, but I don't want to like, because probably won't be able to fit everybody on the first slide. So I don't know. We'll see.
That's exactly what I was having issues with and playing around with this. And so like we had such amazing cosplayers, and this is just like that concept because like this month was magic, and it's just like these are what people can come up with, just giving people this crazy random idea, and it just really made me happy, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're always open to suggestions too. If you guys have an idea, just send us in our DMs. Chibi puts together the schedule.
Yeah, when I first came up with this concept, I actually made a list already. So I had like a prompt list that I was just pulling from already. Because for Original Glaze, we did it about, I think it was like 6 or 7 months. So for anybody who was on the Original Glaze app who saw that, that was all me. I did all the collages and the challenges and stuff. And I thought that was just really fun. And so I've pulled some of the prompts from that one already because I liked some of the prompts. But I basically just like have a list of words, and I just, which one feels good for the month, and I just throw it in. So
yeah. And it's not like there's no like hard rules, right? I mean, like, yeah,
no,
cosplay,
not at all.
like cosplay should be you, unless someone else gives you permission to post, although we'd love for them to come on the channel and post themselves. But yeah, I mean, it's really just for fun and to share. So we don't want people to get stressed out over it either. It's just a fun way to, and we do have a channel that's like share your cosplay. So you're welcome to post any cosplays in there anytime. But this is just kind of a fun thing to like when you did lights, and we didn't do a wrap up of it because it was just a couple of submissions, and then you posted on Instagram. But the lights one, I was like, wow, I don't know if I have anything that, matches this. So it's really interesting and fun to like go back and think about the work that you've done or the pictures you've taken, and then be like, you know what, I'm going to put that on my like shoot to-do list or something. So for me, it was like an opener of like, I thought I've done a lot, I'm like,
right.
Actually, I could do, this is something I can keep in mind for next time I shoot something. So I love that it kind of put that thought in my head,
Yeah, that was kind of one of the things I started working on. Is a lot of my prompts are things that I'm like, I want to do, and so like maybe this will push me to finally do that one prompt I've been meaning to do, or just prompts that I thought were super fun. Because like lights, that was one because during Christmas I decided to do a light shoot. And it was the first time I'd done it, but I'd been talking about wanting to do it for years. And so it was really fun. It's just like, you don't realize how much editing you have to do when you change your lighting. So that's why I only have like 2 pictures from that 2-hour shoot that I did. Because lights are just so hard to edit. But anybody who wants to go back and look through our cosplay challenges, the people who posted their light pictures, they're just freaking gorgeous. Like, I'm like, oh, that's what I'll do next time.
Well, like the one I shared, actually, I guess we can pull that up. It was on our Instagram. The one I shared, I was like, okay, I guess. I mean, it wasn't intentional. I'm going to pull up this collage that Chibi made for us last month. And I was like, I guess this could count. And again, that's, up to interpretation. But I never would have like gone back and like thought about this picture. So here I'm going to share Instagram here. Again, this was from December's prompt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was the first one I did.
So here's December's prompt. And the reason why I picked this, and I know it's been cropped, but we had gone to this forest to do photos, or we did a little getaway, and these lights were just up around the Airbnb, and I just posed for this picture, and then it created this creepy glow around me, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. So that kind of made me think I'm gonna be more mindful of that in my future shoots, so Lithia had submitted something that she had done with lights, and Cold Quesadilla had played with lights as well. So it really was up to your interpretation.
Pretty. I mean, I could have I ended up sharing one of my pictures from the light shoot I did, but one of my favorite pictures of all time actually is one of my favorite photographers from the area, and she always does really cool light gels and like light play, and like every time she does something, you're just like, how in the world did you envision this? Like, they always turn out super pretty. So that's kind of where that concept came from. Was I've always wanted to play more with lights, and then magic. I just pooled. I was just like, well, what's a really fun one? I mean, if you haven't been following, I've been hardcore into Twisted Wonderland for the last couple of months, which is very magic based. And so I'm like, well, let's play with magic because I have lots to.
Absolutely. So again, let's go ahead and get into the challenge. And so if you've shared your picture, I've just saved them based on your your screen name. So this is the alphabetical order that it's in. So again, the prompt was lights. Dun, da, da, da.
No, magic.
Oh, magic. See, my coffee's not done yet. Magic. So I think you have more information on these. I don't know what all the characters are. But
if I get your character wrong or series wrong, I apologize. Me and then another mod, Soccer, in our Discord went scouring the internet to try to find who everyone was.
Yeah, so in future, like, we'd love for you guys to, you know, say the character, what it's from, you know, and then a couple words if you want to on why you think this matches the prompt. I think those will be very helpful for us.
So this is Arcane Drifter on Instagram. He's actually been around for been doing some stuff on our Discord for a while. He's super fun. He does some stuff in my area. I've seen him at SoccerCon and stuff. So, but he is doing Belle Cornell for It Is Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. I hope. This was the one I struggled with the most.
What kind of like, what is that? A game or an anime or a manga? Like, what is it?
Manga and anime. I know that there's an anime out. I know more about the light novels than I do anything else. But it's a very magical fantasy-esque series. And I mean, look how cool that is. Like, that's another thing I always love. Arcane always has some really cool play by play, like fun magic and lighting. He also does some great Leo from Promare, which I'm partial to cosplays. But man, it's just so cool.
What do you know about this character?
Nothing. I've never actually watched it, which is why it took so long. Because at first I was like, oh, well, it's this anime. No, it's not. It's this anime. And then Sakura helped me, and we just like went and dug through his Instagram until we could find a post that had that, and we could hunt down what it was.
Okay, cool. In the future,
so I don't know anything
we'll have
about the series, but it looks cool.
Yeah, and we learn as we go. So in the future, we'd love for you guys to help us out with that. A couple of comments here. Joe says, we used to have monthly steampunk challenges leading up to Wild Wild West Con with awards at the con. That's a fun idea. That's a fun idea.
Cute.
Yeah, like to do a monthly thing, like leading up to an event, and then you share them all at an event. What a great idea, Joe. I will have to borrow this from you.
Yeah, no, that's so cute.
Yeah, Anthony says, hello, you two. Love the costume, Chibi, and nice shirt, Jinx. I've had this shirt for so long, and I've just never worn it because I was like, I want to do something to it, and then it never happens because that's what creative people do is they put stuff off for years. I missed the last stream since I forgot. No problem. You can always, if you guys are tuning in for the first time, you can always watch our streams from the past on Facebook and YouTube. They stay up, comments and all, so you can always tune in back then. And Anthony says, cute cat, Chibi. That's not a cat. That's our honorary host, Peppadoo. So yes, they're
it's warm today, so they're actually up and running around.
Yeah. So this is another view of ALX. What name does he go by? Sorry.
So on Instagram, on Instagram it's Arcane Drifter.
Okay. So this is another shot, which is really cool. You know, even the After Effects. I know there used to be this huge discussion of like our After Effects and editing, is that cosplay? But it's like, yeah, whatever. You know, as long as you're not like putting the whole costume on in Photoshop, you know, like.
Yeah, no, I think it's super cool, and like for more power. Like, I'm terrible at editing, so like the people who can do this kind of stuff, like you guys are the real artists. I always applaud and think it's absolutely amazing, because not only do you have to like make the costume or get the costume and then pose for the costume, like there's a whole other chunk that you have to, like, that photographers go through to make it. I mean, that's why you pay a photographer, is because they can make this magic happen.
A lot of it is the prep, because you have to have that image prepped to edit, right? You can't just you can take a photo and be like, oh, I think I'll edit it afterwards, but to get the actual, the proper effect that you want, you have to plan for, like, I'm going to take this photo because I'll have the space for whatever, or, so to do After Effects, I think people take for granted, like, oh, they just went in Photoshop, but it's a lot more than that. You have to have the product to edit in Photoshop.
Yeah, and this photographer, obviously, whoever edited this, did a phenomenal job. And I just want to ask questions like, was this a green screen effect? Was this like you took a scene and then you did more to it? Like, I want that kind of question, because it's like, man, that's so pretty.
I absolutely do love seeing before and afters. Because some people just take, maybe the photo itself is fine. They take the photo in a park or whatever, and the photo looks great. And then they're able to even, up it even more.
Whenever
in
I have a
Photoshop.
photographer who can take pictures at a convention and like make it look like you're not at a convention, I'm just like, you are the, it's why I hire you. It's I don't want it to look like I'm at the convention center taking these pictures.
Yes, absolutely. Especially if it's like a con or an area that you know very well. And so whenever you look at photos, you're like, oh, that was like, for example, like we do Phoenix Fan Fusion down at the Phoenix Convention Center. I'm like, that was at St. Mary's, you know, in the park, you know, or this is at the Bank One parking garage.
Whenever I see cosplayers that shoot at the Seattle Convention Center, I know immediately because I've been there so many times. I'm like, oh, that's in Seattle. I know exactly where that's at.
Which is fine. Like, I'm not judging. It's just like for me personally, like I know I'm shooting at this normal, regular place, and you know, let's step it up a notch and
add that magic to make it feel like it's not. Yeah, one of my very favorite pictures of all time, taken by Kanani Design. She's phenomenal. Every time she touches a picture, I'm like, what did you do? Like, how did you do this magic? It's this gorgeous picture where she put us up against these bushes because there was 100 people out there and there's a bunch of things moving around and it was cloudy and rainy. But she set up some gel lights and she pushed us back against this bush. So the bush was actually like kind of reflecting the lights, and it's just the coolest, most gorgeous picture I swear that's ever been taken of me. And every time I see it, I'm like, you would have no idea that we were surrounded by thousands of other cosplayers doing this photo shoot in the middle of the day. Like, it was such a cool shot, and it's just the magic of the photographer.
Yeah, like there was this we had this new event in Arizona called UwuCon that you guys, you know, have seen us at. And you know, that's kind of like it was a brand new venue as well. So we're all like, we need to find like the places to shoot, right? And there actually was this grate on the wall inside, like a vent, you know, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. And you know, like
we ended up taking all of our pictures there.
Yeah, and I'm like, with the right angles and lighting and even like post editing, this could look like, you know, like a post-apocalyptic, you know, cityscape, or it could be this, or it could be that. So it was a lot of fun. So let's move on to our next submission. So this is Bunny Flop. Bunny Flop was recently announced as one of our event support team. So Bunny Flop is in Arizona. Oh, do we know where this cosplayer was based? Do we want to share if we don't?
No, I mean, every time I ask him where pictures are taken, it's somewhere else in the United States. So I have no idea.
Okay. So somewhere in the US. They're based in the US.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bunny Flop is based here in Arizona. So this is Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter series. I think it takes no explanation why that's related to magic, because it's, you know, the wizarding world of Harry Potter. So they submitted this Luna Lovegood cosplay, and they are Bunny Flop cosplay on, I believe, all the socials.
Yep.
Instagram, Facebook. Yeah. And then of course they are part of our street team as well. So again, like sometimes you don't need the prompt of like, what is this related to magic? You know, we all are very familiar with Harry Potter. So that we didn't need much, you know, searching on. So things like that, if you know, it's kind of like obvious. And again, it's like optional for you to submit if you want to submit to what the, you know, theme is, and then it's really up to you. So our next submission is Frey Cosplay. Frey is a dear friend of mine, and I like to say that Frey is my cosplay prodigy, because I met Frey actually. We were doing a short film together, and so she was based here in Arizona. She moved to LA because she actually does a lot of film and photography as well. So I met her doing a film, and then she ended up working for the same princess party company as I did. Yeah, it's just that like I have all my own costumes, so I'm never like interacting like with the company very much, because she just would book me and I would go. I couldn't, you know. So she did a lot of, you know, like Rapunzel and Ariel and stuff, and she was like, I want to cosplay. So she put together her first cosplay was Daenerys. I don't know why I'm telling this whole story about her, but she put Daenerys together for Phoenix Fan Fusion, and then she came over and I helped her make a Todoroki school uniform, which I hadn't watched My Hero at the time, so I had no idea what's going on. She's just like, how do I do the thing? So I helped her, and she does amazing.
This is Jack Frost. One of my favorite shows. It is still one of my comfort shows, even like years later. And so just like
I've never even seen it, right? Like there's what? I know. Because it's Rise of the Guardians, right?
It's an Easter movie, so like watch it. Easter's coming up. It's an Easter movie.
I guess because like Easter's not a big deal to me, so I'm like,
I mean, I don't celebrate Easter because I'm always at soccer con because it falls on Easter every year. So like, it's probably been it's been probably 10 years since I've celebrated Easter because I'm just always at con. But it's my comfort movie. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it aged well. Like, the animation is still gorgeous. The story is still gorgeous. It actually prompted me to go read all the books that they're based off of. So it's one of my collections I have is the Rise of the Guardians collection. But it's a feel-good movie. So like every time I see Jack Frost cosplayers, I get so excited.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it then because I know it's people cosplay from this movie all the time.
I know, like it always surprises me seeing people like still cosplaying from it because it was so long ago, and someday I'll do my Toothy cosplay. Like I keep saying I will.
Okay. Yeah, and it's like I know a lot of like fandoms and characters because of cosplay, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, and so that sometimes eventually that gets me into things. Like that's why I started watching My Hero because I was like, man, like it is so
many people are into it. Yeah,
that didn't happen with Attack on Titan. No, I still don't want to watch. I still don't care for Attack on Titan. I'm sorry. But
only the first 2 seasons are good, and people can fight me. But like once they get to the basement, just pretend nothing else happens. Like,
so it's like I love that sometimes I'll be intrigued by cosplay to get into a fandom.
I do it all the time. The reason why I got into Twisted Wonderland was I was like, oh, look at those pretty boys. And now I'm 5 cosplays deep working on my 6th one.
Oh yeah. So that's really cool. And I believe she's done some After Effects on this, but she has a background in like photography, and she did some photos of me, and I wish she would do more, but she moved to California. Why? So we love Frey.
Go give them some love on Instagram. They're awesome.
Yeah, and again, I'll post I'll share in the stories and tag back to their Instagrams so you can go and check them out if they shared it. We'll try and make sure we get everybody in the stories, and that's going to happen later today because I've got lots of stuff going on today. Next is Hopeless Night. Speaking of Twisted Wonderland,
one of the reasons I picked the magic prompt. One of my favorite dads here. This is Lilia from Twisted Wonderland and the house.
So funny, like it's just the way they just completely like disregard, the stereotypes of things. I don't know, like when you call him the dad, like I don't know. It's cool though.
Right. He's referred to as Shota Dad in the series because he's so tiny. He's not the smallest character. He's the 3rd smallest character in like the whole series. But he's such a good character. I love his character growth, and I love I just read one of his vignettes in the game, and he just always makes me smile because he's such a good character.
So obviously this character has a place in Chibi's heart. Hopeless is based in Arizona. Talk about a little bit. I mean, we on the surface we know this is related to magic, but how specifically is Lilia related to magic?
So it's based off of the Disney movie Sleeping Beauty. At least their dorm is based off of Sleeping Beauty, and which is my favorite Disney movie, by the way. And so Lilia is basically he's like the chaperone to the Prince of the Thorns. So you have the character that's represented by Maleficent. So that's Malleus, who is basically Lilia's son, which is why we refer to him as dad, because Lilia raises him. And Lilia is he's very mysterious. We don't have a lot of information on him. We know he's thousands of years old, and he's entered this college as a kid again to relive his life and to be with his son.
So is this why he looks the way he does?
Yeah, but he's very powerful, and we know he has a lot of magic. But so far in the game, we haven't had a lot of him playing with his magic. He kind of plays with everybody and just like sits in the background and lets the kids do the thing. And he's like, oh, that was interesting. I wouldn't have done it that way.
Interesting. Okay. Wow, that's a lot that I learned about the character. I didn't even know. I mean,
right? No, I ended up cosplaying him out Uwu. I think that's how hopeless I was. Well, no, I probably was in D-Lit, but like I did Lilia the last day, which you made me my wig, which I love.
That's why I was interested in like what is this character like? It's like a unique design.
once Therma was like, I'm doing Malleus, I'm like, I have to do Lilia. Like, there's
Yeah,
no
and I
other
wanted to.
option for me.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to like expand my like wig skills. So I was like, hey, if I make this, will you wear it? And she was like, yeah. So I made it. And
If
then
anybody
she
needs
was
any
like,
more reason to play the game, if you love Disney, it's such a fun Disney game because there's a lot of Disney, but it doesn't like rule the game. Like you don't have to be a Disney genius or know all the trivia or anything to enjoy
but
the game.
it's like a Japanese game studio that produces it,
Yeah,
right?
so it's Square Enix and Samurai 4.
Is it Square Enix, does it?
It is. That's why it's so pretty. And the author of Kurshitsuji is actually the main character designer and one of the writers. So if anybody's into like Victorian fantasy, like this is Disney meets Victorian fantasy meets college life. Like it's very unique, but it's very fun, and the storytelling is really well done. It's got a little bit of like music play. It's got a little bit of battling system. It's got a little bit of a card gotcha system. Like it's a very good mixed game because it's not one more than the other. I hate gotcha games. I refuse to play them. It's why I haven't played Genshin yet. But this is my like one gotcha game.
I feel like that is such a unique mix. You said it was Disney plus Victorian plus college fantasy.
Yeah, like it's modern. Like they have cell phones and shit, but like
Yeah,
it also
okay.
is very magic based. It's just a really fun like fantasy story, like a modern fantasy story, and I like
Definitely
it.
Is very unique.
Yeah, I like it because there's enough Disney in there that like the Disney geeks will totally jump on to like the little foreshadowing that they give because every character represents a person or a character, like a thing within the game. So like as you play, you'll get to meet the characters and be like, oh well, this is of course this character is based off of like the evil witch, and this character is based off of Maleficent. Lilia is actually based off of the Bat Chair. So there's the in the throne room. Here's my Disney geek showing. So in Sleeping Beauty, there's this beautiful ornate scene with Maleficent in her like throne, and Lilia's character design comes from the throne. It's this beautiful like bat piece. And so like only weird geeks who love the movies are going to pick up on some of those, but the other characters are very obvious, like Leo.
I mean, the coloring even makes sense because the dragon, Maleficent as the dragon, has the black with kind of like the green accents.
Right. And so like who I'm cosplaying today, Apple, he's the apple, he's the poison apple, like, which is this is actually his in the game. So he's the kind of like Snow White poison apple. Like he's probably the fairest one in the school. Like a lot of people think he's very like weak and sickly because he's so fair and so pretty. He turns out to actually be a badass and can kick everyone's butt and like hates being called pretty. But like he is like Snow White is like where his personality comes from and like where his
very multifaceted game. Wow. Yeah. Amanda V. Wright says, hello, everyone from Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we are sharing our challenge submissions, and we'd love for this to be like way too many that we have to like, you know, we're spending time on we're spending time on each one because we can. But I'd love to see like tons and tons of submissions. Okay, so let's.
Yeah, we can continue because I can literally go on about Twist of Wonderland all day. Yeah, like, literally my favorite.
This is me. Ta-da! So this is me. And this is the Ochako from My Hero from the very obscure intro season. I think it's like season 4 intro. I think
outro. Season 3 outro.
Outro. See, I'm just throwing stuff out there. Season 3 outro. Where they're all like in this fantasy kind of like D&D alternate universe, and literally the references are just, you know, some clips here and there. So of course when because you've already made your Kirishima long time ago.
Kirishima was actually the very first My Hero character I finally like really delved into because I wasn't going to be a My Hero person, and then I watched My Hero and I became a My Hero person. So
same. Like
it turned out to be really fun. Actually, what really drove me to do Kirishima, because in the outro you see like tidbits of all the characters and these beautiful designs and these fantasies. This is actually the author and the team has like stated that the fantasy set is their favorite thing to draw, which is why we have so many renditions of the fantasy sets. If you follow My Hero's art books and stuff, you'll notice a lot of fantasy stuff. And actually it was in the novel set. So there's a set of right now 5 in English translated, but there's a set of 5 novels that are just like short stories of all of the characters.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, basically the novels take place in between the time skips. And so it kind of gives you an idea of what was going on when the anime couldn't cover it, because there's wasn't enough time. And specifically in the last couple of books, there's been the fantasy story elongated. So we actually get to see each of the characters and how they met and how that story plays out. And it's one of my favorites, and it made it canonly that Kirishima is the dragon. So like as soon as I had the canon, like, yes, Kiri's the dragon, I had to make this design.
I have to step away a second because my doorbell just rang. So can you just keep talking a little bit more about that? Sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, so I really enjoy just like the fantasy esque that My Hero added. It's such a cute concept. And like Jinx here is doing, of course, Ochako, who's the mage. I'm just a little bitter because Kirishima's had like 3 design sets. And so I did the first design and then they released the second set, like when I was almost done with the first design. So I was like, we're going to keep going with what I have. And then about a month ago, they released the third fantasy set, which I'm probably going to end up doing that, Kiri. I'm just going to keep running down this hole I'm in. Well, how's everybody? Let's go through some comments. We have Joe. So Joe, the challenges are on our Discord. We have our very own room. I also throw them up in the announcements on the Discord. If you're not on Discord though, if people are interested, I can start posting it on Instagram as well, what the challenge for the month is.
It's in our link tree. So on our
cool.
on our Instagram profile, if you go to our link tree, the link in our bio, it will be there too. So you just click it and it'll take you to sign up for your Discord. Oh, I'm out of breath. I ran down the stairs and I ran back up the stairs. So sorry. So yeah. So this is so I made this to join the group that Chibi put together at SakuraCon last year. So and Thermo Cosplay was Todoroki, who was like a prince, or what was Todoroki?
Yeah, so Todoroki is basically a prince character. No, it was really fun. Me and Sam did that for Emerald City and SakuraCon, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah, and so of course they made Ochako into a magic user. So that was a pretty easy, like, oh, I've got something for the magic challenge. So that's
your hood was so cute. It was sticking out so far.
I was whacking everybody with it. I actually found that pattern on Etsy. I need to find out. I cannot remember who, off the top of my head, I can't remember who it was, but I found the pattern on Etsy. So it was really wonderful that somebody had made it themselves and shared the pattern. So thank you. I will give you the shout out on our Instagram. Next is, so this is, I labeled this as Lithia's partner.
Well, Lithia never gave me any more information. So this is
Lithia first. Yeah, let's go to Lithia first, and then we can talk about Lithia's partner.
Yeah, so Lithia did one of my absolute favorites, Lena Inverse from Slayers. It's so pretty. I cannot get over how pretty it is.
And I believe Lithia is based in Europe, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Lithia's
one of
based
our
in
European
Europe.
cosplayers.
Yeah, so very beautiful, like, setting. And if you have not seen Slayers, it's a really fun anime, I think from like the 90s. It's all like very D&D-esque. So if you love D&D...
Yeah, so Lotus War is what the people believe D&D should look like. And then Slayers is like what actually happens in a D&D campaign.
It's like after a couple of drinks.
It's your couple of drinks deep into your adventure. But it's super fun to do. Slayers is actually one of my favorite animes of all time. It's one of my feel-good animes. And it's super fun to watch because it started in the 90s, but the last season came out in like mid 2000s. So you can kind of see the animation progression and the voice actors. There's only like one change up, I think, in that entire time period. So it's really cool to just like watch and see the progression. I got lucky and I got to meet the voice actress for Lena Inverse in Uwu, and I just about died. I was so excited. So this is one of my guilty pleasure shows.
And the thing is about Slayers is that like if you're not familiar with D&D, I mean, this is a great kind of intro into like how fun it can be. But if you are like, there's a lot of like tropes and themes that are just timeless in D&D. And so I love that part about, Slayers, that it just all like, you kind of feel like you're watching a campaign. When I first played D&D, I was in 5th grade and I was big on fan fiction. So I actually started writing, well, it's not really fan fiction of our D&D campaign because it's not a main thing. But I would write like our campaign, the story. And so this reminds me a lot of it. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't have any of them anymore. I mean, it's like, man, like that was like 20 some odd years ago, but I mean, that was like 30 years ago.
But this is
But
pretty.
this,
This is yeah. So she did the anime version of Lena Inverse, and it's just gorgeous.
yeah, so that reminds me a lot of like fifth grade me writing writing a fanfic on our campaign.
Yeah, and then
So
Lizzie didn't give me any information on her partner.
yes,
But
I'm gonna go
I'm pretty
back.
sure, yeah, the two of them work together to make some pretty incredible costumes. She posts some of her work in progress stuff in the Discord, and it's so pretty. This is Link from Breath of the Wild, I'm pretty sure. Maybe
That's a pretty well known, you
should
know,
be.
genre.
Yeah, it's from one of the Zelda games. I'm sorry, I'm not totally educated.
I'm not either. My sister is.
Yeah,
I'm
actually, it might be one of the newer games I haven't played yet because I don't necessarily recognize this costume.
I think so, yeah, because I don't recognize it either, and I think it's from one of the newer ones. But I love a little bit of the subtle After Effects that they added in here.
Right.
It doesn't overpower it. I mean, we've already, again, this is where, you know, when you're taking these photos, you take into account a lot of what am I going to do with this photo afterwards. You know, some people just do, you know, the basic editing, cleanup, whatever, but this already has such a lovely, you know, background. You can see the lighting. This must have been like early, it looks like early morning light.
Probably golden hour, yeah.
So gorgeous. And then they already had a plan to like kind of subtly add this. I don't know. I mean, it just all works. Like even like you can see like the depth. There's some like in the front, in the foreground. I don't know. I'm not here to like analyze, but it's a very beautifully framed image. So yeah. And there's a little bit of nipple. Sorry, I had to point out the nipple. Okay, let's move on.
We're not an anime. We can show a nipple.
So here's Nyashi. Nyashi is one of our Discord mods. And I don't know much about Nyashi, but I know Nyashi loves Winx. This is from Winx, yes. Right?
Yep, this is Wings Club. No, like if you are interested in making wings or are starting to make your own set of wings or interested in wings, like go check them out. They have made so many of the Winx wings and they're all absolutely breathtaking. I also think that they take commissions. So if you
based
are
in Europe, right?
Yeah, they're based in Europe, so either be in Europe or no, you're going to pay a ton for shipping. But like, oh my gosh, I just drool over all of her work. They're so beautiful. She specializes in them and they just look so cool.
So do you know this character?
No, I all I wrote down was Fire Fairy from Winx Club because that was like middle school days for me and I honestly don't remember anybody's name. It's been a long time.
Yeah, we'll get better at this, guys. Don't worry. Next month we'll have it all down. But if you do know, you can throw it in the chat. Sakura Elwer says, this is so much fun. It is, and I love to see all the different interpretations. So if you're not familiar with Winx, it's about fairies, and fairies usually are, you know, in line with magic. So
power of friendship.
Yes, that's what I'm going to think is, you know, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty close to why Nyashi submitted this. So, I mean, fairies are, I don't think there's any non-fairies. I mean, non-magic fairies. I mean, well,
thank you, Sakura. She's the dark version of Bloom. I appreciate
and Bloom is the main. Bloom is like the main fairy, right?
Yeah.
I think. Okay, dark version of Bloom. Thank you very much. So,
if anyone ever has a question too, Sakura is like literally Google. She can find anything you ever need.
Awesome. So that is really wonderful. And let's go ahead and go to the next one. This is Sakura Elrek. Dun, 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 dun. I will let you take this one.
Yeah. So this one was really fun. It was actually a con in my area. It was Maho Shoujo Day, which I honestly don't think exists anymore. But it's basically Magical Girl Day. It was a one-day con in our area that was really fun. Yeah. So me and Sakura, I think we won third place. We won the cosplay contest. I can't remember what we placed in, but it was really fun. We ended up doing our own D&D characters because we we didn't want to do Sailor Moon because we knew there'd be a lot. We didn't have anything prepped for card captors. So we're like, well, why don't we just do our characters? So this is Zinnia, which is actually her D&D character. One of her first ones she wrote up for my stuff because I'm a dungeon master. But Zinnia is a fantastic fairy sorcerer, and I did not post, but I was a warlock. I was a fancy warlock character. So, but it was really fun. We ended up winning third place because of our props. Our props were super cool. So,
what is that she's got in her hands? Is that like a wand?
That's her staff. Most Magic users in Dungeons & Dragons 5 have to have like you either get a pouch of components or you get like an item that is your.
I love how pretty and flowery it is.
You know, we had a lot of fun. My warlock, actually, I had this big blade that had a bunch of like roses running up it and thorns. Like it was really fun. I very much enjoyed doing that challenge because it was very last minute. Just us like, okay, well, what are we going to throw together? Sakura actually made her whole costume because she's a badass. Mine, I focused on the prop, and then I had this big hat with these like dice hanging off of it for like the D&D theme. So I added a little bit to it, but it was a lot of like, I'm throwing this together last minute because I don't have time.
Oh, no, but it's lovely. I love it. Yes, Sakura says it was 3rd place. Joe says, my wife loves doing her D&D characters and we'll be doing one for Ren Fair. Awesome. We'll talk about Ren Fair later because we just went. But yeah, that is lovely. Sakura is our other Discord mod. So guys, yes, it is a lot of fun to join. Again, it's like, love to see, there's quite a few fairies. So love to see people's interpretations of, you know, what the prompt is. So let's move on. This is Shadowclaw. Shadowclaw was a past guest a couple weeks ago. So this is, oh my God,
it's
My Hero.
Yeah.
My Hero, right? Oh my God.
Yep. Hawks from My Hero.
Yes.
This was the Christmas rendition of Hawks that they did for, I believe it was Hallmat. And they were like, well, Christmas is magical, right? Which I think was a really cute interpretation because yes, Christmas is magical. So I thought we had to add it in. Plus it's super cute. It's so fun. Like the fact that they just did this like Christmas themed Hawks is just awesome. I love people that get like do original designs and just like run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that the red, like, you know, the red velvet and the boots kind of look a little bit like Santa's style. So
it's so fun. I wish I'd like, I want to ask them how they're like, how everything went with Hallmat and like people's reactions to this because it was so cute.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always wanted to do a Christmas something, and I never get around to doing it.
I know, right?
I know, it's like Christmas is like here now, and I'm like, dang it, I did not do anything. But yeah, so even like that's an interesting way that they like linked magic to this characters. Like Christmas is magic. That's very true. You know, you can't really. I mean, you have to believe a little bit of magic to love Christmas. I think, you know, if you're not going like, you know, the whole like Jesus was born route, which I don't. I'm more like Christmas magic route. So yeah, it's wonderful. And so we had a couple of My Heroes, a couple of fairies. So let's go on to the next one, which is Starlit Wolf. I know zero about this.
Yes. This is Starlit Wolf's original design.
Okay.
They're incredible. They do some really fun stuff. They do a lot of sewing. So if you're interested in seeing like ears, they do some really fun ears, and they do some really unique materials, which is, I mean, one, I follow them because they're incredible, but like they do some really fun, unique materials on their channel. So if you're like asking questions about how to sew weird stuff, like they have some really solid advice for that. They're really sweet too. We ended up becoming friends online. And because they're one of my Canadian beans. And then I got really lucky because we got to meet at Penticon, and we actually got to meet in person for the first time, even though we'd been online friends for quite some time before that point. And they were cosplaying Leo from Promare, one of my favorite characters.
What is the magic relation with this?
They're using magic in their head, like their OC has magic, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, so really fun lighting. Look at them, another light play.
And is it a bunny for like Year of the Rabbit?
Yes, that's exactly what it was. It was for the Year of the Rabbit.
Yeah, I love this. It looks like Yaya Han fabric. I'm not sure if I'm right on that.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. They have such fun costumes. Like the materials they use always blow me away because like I tend to shy away from some of the weird materials sometimes.
It's tricky, but it is higher quality, so it is a little easier to work with than if you were to go.
I have Yaya's leather and gold trim I used for D-Lit actually, so I'm starting to finally get into using Yaya's beautiful fancy fabrics.
Every time I see her fabric on the clearance rack, I'm like, I want to buy this whole bolt, but I should not. You know, it's like I don't right now. I did buy her carbon fiber in bulk, and I'm glad I did because that's gone, and that's so useful. I can use it for all sorts of things. So let's move on. Next is dun 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 dun. It is one of our hosts, Thermo Cosplay, dressed as Maya the Siren from Borderlands.
I'm glad you know because I didn't write it down either.
I played it. I just cannot remember. I think it's okay. 2. Oh my God, I'm so bad. But Borderlands. So if you don't know anything about Borderlands, it's a very post-apocalyptic game. And Maya is a siren who uses there's only very few sirens that exist, and they usually have a special kind of power. God, I cannot for the life of me remember what Maya's is. But what's really cool about this is that like the animation is very what is the style of that animation? Gosh, it's like with really thick lines, kind of like
like blocky.
Yeah, there's a word for it, and I cannot remember what it is. But so she wanted to emulate the hair in that same way as it was animated. So she actually made her wig out of foam. So and then sirens usually have these kind of like markings on their body that glow when they activate their power. So that is the magic related. And I hate to skip past Thermo because we got one more, and we're cutting really short. My gosh, we've been chatting a lot. Our last submission is Thermo Sidekick, who is the second half of Thermo Cosplay. If you didn't know, she tends to Borderlands 3. Thank you. I thought it was Borderlands 3. I'm such a dummy. So Thermo Sidekick is Lena, and she is a wonderful event support of Cost Talk Live as well, and sometimes appears in the show. The elusive Thermo Sidekick. And she is we did a evolutions group, and Sunset Dragon is a wonderful artist and created cell shaded. That's what it's called. Cell shade. Yeah. So the animation for that is cell shaded that you see in a lot of like Telltale games as well. And so she is Sunset Dragon did a fan art of evolutions as different D&D classes. So I believe Espeon was, I want to say like a druid or something.
I think she was a cleric.
Was she the? I think. No, I think
because Leafeon's the archer. Oh gosh,
I was Sylveon, who was the bard.
Yeah.
Jolteon was a knight.
Yeah, fighter.
Flareon was a barbarian.
Maybe
Umbreon was a rogue. What's that?
Maybe a warlock for Espeon.
Oh, because Vaporeon and Vaporeon and oh my god, why can't I think of the icy one? Glaceon. So those two are some sort of magic users. That's why I get confused on what Espeon was, because
Glaceon usually like the sun symbol is a cleric symbol, which is why I'm like, I mean, Espeon is the sun symbol, but like that's usually cleric symbol in D&D, so it looks cleric-y to me.
Yeah, maybe because also like they were like less armored, so the cleric in the back, maybe you're right. So this was we did a whole group and
you guys look so cool.
Yeah, I was Sylveon, who was the bard, but she was Espeon was a magic user. So again, D&D themed. We had a couple of those in here too. So I'm gonna have to wrap that up because we only have 8 minutes left. So guys, again, I'm gonna leave it to Chibi to talk about our next challenge.
All right, so after much debate, you guys are probably going to hate me for this, but in America, it is Super Bowl season for any not nerd people. So I decided
I don't even know this theme either, so I'm getting surprised.
We're going to do sports, which kind of plays into my love for sports anime, and I'm terribly sorry, but like I'm such a sports anime junkie. I'm currently watching through the bicycle anime right now. It's my feel-good anime. And I haven't used this theme yet, and I couldn't figure out when to put it in because I was like, I usually try to kind of theme the months, and so I already have them like playing around, and March was one of my blank spots. So I'm sorry, but yeah, we're gonna do sports. It doesn't have to be anime, but that was the theme I was leaning into, and I know it'll be hard for some people, but some people will also have cosplays already prepped and ready to go. Yeah. I plan on doing free, maybe Haikyuu, because I've been debating on doing a Haikyuu cosplay for a couple years now. But
well, there you go, guys. You can either have something you already submitted, but you have all month until the end of the month, to submit something or make something.
And tell us what your favorite sports anime or game might be. Who's your favorite sports character?
Yeah, guys, you can tune into the Discord. I'm going to throw the link up here one more time. The Discord, you can join us and you can submit it directly into that channel. If you go into the Cosplay Challenges channel, you'll see everyone else how they previously submitted. We would just ask that you let us know the character and what it's from.
And what your handle is online.
What your online handle is, good. And
I have to go digging sometimes, and it takes more time. So if you could just give me what your handle is, it's easier.
And you can share why this prompt. I mean, that's completely optional. I mean, all of it's optional, but it's like then we won't share it. So, but you can share why you think this prompt goes. That's what I'm probably gonna have to do because I don't think I have anything like outwardly sports related.
Sorry, it's
I'm
one
gonna
of
have to
my
stretch.
weird guilty pleasures. I'm one of those people that's like hardcore fantasy. Like some of my favorites are Lotus War and Slayers and stuff. But deep down inside, I am still sports trash. Like Free and Haikyuu and the bicycle anime are my like guilty pleasures.
I've never gotten into like the sports anime, but I know it's a whole thing. Like
I'm very picky. Like it has to have a lot of plot. So like Skate, the newest one for me is Skate. Like that one had its story was incredible. It just did so well of not making it feel like a sports anime, but still it's technically a sports anime.
Like really slice of life, right? So it's
it does feel like a slice of life. And like same with Free, like me and Yaya have screamed about this for a while now, but like the fact that Free still is like being built on and like the universe is still growing. And for me, I think it's because I'm like the same age as the characters. So when I watched it, when I first started watching it, they were in high school and I was in high school. And then like when the next set of series came out, like I was in college and it was them starting their life in college. So it's kind of like Free has been this anime that has followed me through the years, and the emotions that the characters go through of growing up are the exact same emotions of me growing up. So like Free has a special place in my heart. I'm still a huge Yuri on Ice fan. Every once in a while you'll see me throw up my Yuri pictures. Like
cool. Well, I'm excited to see what happens if people go, outside the sports anime because I'll have to.
I want to because I know some animes have like those like weird random episodes. Because in My Hero Academia, there's a swimming episode that's just absolute crack, but it's one of my favorites.
Right, because they were like ready to see the girls, and the girls were all in their like full wetsuits. Like,
so like have fun with it, like run with it. I was just trying to throw things out there, and the only reason why I know it's Super Bowl is because I work at Costco. Like I'm not actually a sports person.
I mean, we can't avoid it. Like, we actually next week we have a show, and I was thinking, oh my god, is this gonna work? But I know cosplayers will watch it because it's like I don't know what to do.
At least a chunk of you guys will.
So before we like wrap up, I did want to do a quick wrap up of some events that we did in January. So in January we have this thing called Tempe. So our libraries are really cool, and they'll do like these free events. They have to be free events because it's government property. So they do these free events, and it started out in the basement, and now I like to call it like the largest small con ever in the city. So Tempe FanCon, they've even called it FanCon now because it's so big. So I'm just gonna like quickly go through some of these photos. This is from our team member Matt, Head in the Clouds. So these are a couple of photos, and I knew lots of people there. I have a booth there that I sell stuff with my sister. So sorry I didn't ask you for permission to share these, but I hope it's okay. So a lot of great photos that he took there. You can see there's another Jack Frost there. But this is like under this cover used to be parking, and then it used to be food trucks, and now it's all vendors. So look at that. Like everyone goes all out for Tempe FanCon, and it's free. It's free for vendors, free for attendees.
That's so sweet. That's amazing.
So this is like one of my favorite like free events that I'll always do. So those are a couple of those. And then yesterday, again for Matthew's birthday, we went to the Renaissance Fair. Oh wait, do I have pictures for that? I don't think I downloaded. Oh, I did download a picture. And the Renaissance Fair is cool here because they have to have it earlier in the year because Arizona is very, very hot, and it was quite warm yesterday even. So this was just and some people love to do like mixed cosplay in Renaissance. So there's Thermo dressed as someone from The Witcher. I think this is productions from the Merlin show, Lord of the Rings. My friend did Lord of the Rings here. I just was a basic wench because I'm a basic bee. No, just kidding. But that's a lot of fun, and that started yesterday, so that goes on until April.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and yours is in August, so when that comes around.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's so funny. I wasn't going to go to Ren Fair this year. I highly debated it. It's a really long drive for me, and they're doing some things that they're trying to figure out how to grow the space without like making the prices. It's kind of a mess right now, and I want them to figure stuff out before I go have fun there. But they invited a guest that I really want to see, and normally I don't care about Ren Fair guests, but if anybody is on TikTok and watches The Whipper, He has some absolutely hilarious stuff, and he's going to be at Washington Ren Fair. And I'm like,
that's cool.
Well, I guess we're going to Ren Fair.
I was just thinking, I'm like, we are so lucky here in Arizona because our Ren Fair fairgrounds are privately owned. So
that's really lucky. Like,
so
ours
somebody
is a terrible location.
I know. So we have like a dedicated space that is only you. I mean, they hold, it's open for private events and stuff, but Ren Fair is only from Feb to first week of April. And this, whoever, I don't know who owns it, but they own it, and they shared their love with everybody. And I'm like, oh my God, we're so freaking lucky, because there's all these permanent structures that are just always there.
Do you guys have Ardani there? Do they come to your Ren Fair?
I don't think so.
Okay. I know they do a lot of like the Midwest stuff, so I was curious. Because all of my ears, whenever you see me doing the elf ears or prosthetics and stuff, 99% of the time it's actually Ardani Studio. So
I'm not sure, but we do have a lot of regular ones. There are a couple new ones this year. I was like, well, this is new and this is new, and some performers are new, but yeah. So I mean, if you're ever in this area of town, although I wouldn't recommend it for out of towners to come here because it's very, very hot. So you even I will be miserable. Like, I was having a problem like in February. So, but it's a great one. But if you were to come, I would suggest you, Chibi, to come for the first weekend. Even that's going to be warm. I carry a parasol with me and a fan, and it already is warm enough.
That's super smart. I mean, like, our Ren Fairs are always really hot too. So, because ours take place in August usually, so that's like the hottest season, but it's also the less likely to rain. So that's why it tends to be our outdoor events is like between mid-September and like the first weekend in October.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, we are over. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to get those submissions in. I mean, depending on how many we get, we'll plan for however we have to share it. Keep an eye out later today for our stories. And next week, guys, we have a really special guest. It is the podcast, and I hope I don't get blocked on YouTube. Shit Cosplayers Say. They are by Lavi Cosplay. I believe they are based, I want to say, around the Chicago area. But I did discover them, while doing research for our show and listening to stuff during the pandemic, because there was, we just wanted content. So I really enjoy listening to them. They do a lot of competing, a lot of judging. And they recently went to the International Cosplay League in Spain. So super, super exciting to hear from them. So guys, you can check them out on their podcast, Shit Cosplay. I think it's SCS Podcast. They will be on next week with me. Chibi's going to take a break. And
I have to go to work.
And it's so dramatic that your hat fell.
Yeah. I'm taking a vacation this week, but I get to work next Sunday. So
and I know
you gotta take the trade.
Yeah. So if you're not watching Super Bowl, watch us. But yeah, where can we find you online, Chibi?
I am Chibi_RainCloud on everything. TikTok,
on
Instagram, Outlook, if you want to email me. And if you have any questions about how the cosplay challenges go, or if you have ideas or advice, go ahead, hit me up on any of those systems. This month we are doing sports. So have fun with that. I know it sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but like sports anime.
It's cool. We'll see what it is.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see everybody. If you just want a cool place to chill and talk about anime or cosplay, or just see cosplayers repeat till cry, like come join our Discord. We do a lot of like whip. I started this weekly check-in. So like if there's something you really want to do and want a little peer pressure, you can join us and we'll kind of check in on you and make sure you're doing your cosplay stuff.
A couple last comments. Joe says, I'm taking my Boy Scout troop to Ren Fair. Awesome. And Alvin says, hello, Jessica. Thanks for tuning in, Alvin. You guys can find me on socials at the Jinx Cosplay. I did not get on that bandwagon fast enough. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. I don't stream though. And I have a website, jinxcosplay.com. You can find Cos Talk Live at costalk-live.com. We are Cos Talk Live on all the socials, and we stream every Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we have a couple of cool events coming up. So we have the Cost Swap Mart, which I had to close for vendor submission because it was just way too many. So we are doing another Swap Mart on February 19th at Zing Fu Tang Boba in Mesa. And oh gosh, there was one more thing I wanted to mention, but I think I forgot.
So the 19th, if you're not at the
Yeah.
cost swap, we are actually going to have a really cool guest on. We're going to have the Costier company on board with us.
Yeah.
I'll be interviewing them and asking them questions about the app that they're building. They're actually working on this really cool cosplay planner app. I'm actually part of it. If you want, you can go to their Instagram or their website, cosgear.com, and check out what they do. Have you seen cosplayers with those cool moving ears and tail? It's probably Costier. They do a lot of really fun things like the Cutie Band, where Thermo got us for Christmas a couple years ago.
Thermo got us cutie bands for Christmas one year by Costier.
Yeah, they're
and they do a tail too, don't they?
Yeah, the tail is the newest one that they put out. They produced, and now they're working on a cost planner app, which might be growing into other things. If you're curious about to see where this company is going in the near future, come join us, ask them questions. I am super hyped. I've actually been working with them. I'm officially one of their beta testers on the app. So we do a lot of really fun stuff.
Get me in there too.
But it's super cool. And so that's going to be on the 19th.
And then the 26th, we're taking a break, guys, because we're going to be at ECCC the first weekend of March. So
I'm not ready.
I know that's TB's hometown area. So Thermo and I and Head in the Clouds and Thermo Sidekick will be traveling up there. So we have not yet planned what we're doing that weekend for
we have panels. Go check out Thermo. She has, I think they have their panels up to the
So thank you so much, guys. Yay! Thank you so much, and make sure to join our Discord. Add us on Instagram. Come watch us next week and the week after, and we will see you guys later. Yeah, take care, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye.